So I made this masala chai for my mom for Mother's Day, infused with rose from that rose syrup, remember, that I used to make that pink milk. So if you have some of that already handy, you're gonna save a solid 30-35 minutes. But if not, not to worry, we'll go through all of it right now, and it's a fun time to just cook with flowers. If you haven't done that before, it's pretty interesting. Think of this chai as a fusion between my masala chai recipe and some rose trinkets sprinkled here and there from my rose syrup recipe. Let's get started. Now, for those of you who already have the rose syrup on hand, you can skip to the point I'll mark down below in the description. For everybody else, let's make the quick rose syrup. So you need some rose petals and water in a saucepan. The ratio is 1:2 right now, and you want to bring that up to a gentle simmer. Once you have that, you cook it for about 25 or 30 minutes just to make sure you get most of that color and flavor out into the water. The petals will turn really dark gray and mushy, and you want to squeeze as much of it out as you extract as much flavor and water from it. You can see that I've strained it really well here into this bowl, and then you want to go ahead and transfer it back into a saucepan and then add in your sugar. Give that a stir and dissolve the sugar, and then you want to bring that up to a simmer and then gently cook the syrup down until it thickens slightly. Again, I did that for about 20 to 25 minutes. The syrup is now ready. You can set this aside, and now we can focus on the tea. Now here are a set of spices, some black peppercorn, cardamom, cloves, and cinnamon stick. Just pound that down using a spice grinder or a modern pestle until it's pretty coarsely ground. We're gonna filter it later on anyways. Then for the tea, I'm gonna return that saucepan from earlier back on the heat, add the water in along with my black tea leaves and some rose petals that I had reserved from earlier. We'll brew the tea with the rose along with some crushed up pieces of ginger which I've peeled. Just stir it from time to time and then add in your spices. Now this all is gonna brew together. It's gonna have a nice heat, nice kick in your throat. It's gonna feel really nice. And once you've let that simmer for a little bit and infuse the flavor in the water, add in your milk. I added a solid 2 cups just to get this rich color, which I always love about my tea. But you can put less or more milk based on what you want. Let this cook a little bit on very gentle heat and make sure it doesn't boil over. And I'm gonna add in a touch of rose water. Do not have plain rose water. It's bitter like anything. Now we are essentially ready to serve this. I've transferred this into my teapot. Don't worry, there's a filter or sieve in the teapot. And then for those of you who can have sugar and you want the rose syrup for extra rosy kick for your mom, for yourself, for your family, then add that directly to the cup. Very flexible. And for those who don't, you don't have to. You can just store it, add more, add less, as much as you want. Garnish that up with some more rose petals. Maybe you don't want to taste the flowers. Fine. But with the rose syrup, that is something that I recommend you to at least try once, even a sip, because that is really worth it. It's just a sweetness that I can't even describe. It's like very fragrant, indescribable, rosy sweetness. You just have to try it. You may love it, you may hate it. I love it. My mom loved it. My wife hated it. Let me know what you thought about it. And I know I should have probably filmed this earlier for Mother's Day, but I just happened to make it impromptu. So there you have it. Happy Mother's Day yesterday, and I'll see you on the next one.